I'm Idiotech, and today we're going to take a look at Human Resource Machine. So this game is made by the same developers who made World of Goo and Little Inferno. The game comes out tomorrow, which is the 15th of October, and it retails for $9.99. So what is the game? Well, essentially it's a game about programming, as in computer programming, but it uses visual programming and puzzle solving in order to sort of teach you the logic behind computer programming, essentially. It's really interesting, so I thought I'd check it out and show it to you guys. So we're just going to jump straight in. Now, I've played for 12 years in the game. I started a new save, which I'm going to delete, and we're going to start again. Yes, I would like to delete that progress. Okay, so now we get to pick a character. I'm going to pick the blue-haired guy. Yep, that looks like me, although it doesn't. Here's your badge. Please proceed to the elevator. Cool. So this is how the game is presented to you. Essentially, you work your way up the floors of this big skyscraper in this corporation until you get to the top and finish all of the programming tasks assigned to you. So we're going to start from the very bottom, the mail room, year one, and this will just illustrate how this game works to you. It gets incredibly complicated later on. If you like games that challenge you mentally, this game will do that. Even for me, who has a lot of experience with programming, I found this game kind of challenging. Also, just because some of the methods it uses for teaching programming and how the programming in this game works aren't really equivalent to real life. Like, you'd have other statements that you'd be able to use, but it's kind of a puzzle as well. It's obviously a game, so there has to be puzzle solving elements. Okay, welcome to your first day. You look like an excellent instruction follower. So this little guy on every floor will essentially talk to you and give you little tidbits of information. There also appears to be a story, as there was in Little Inferno and World of Goo. There's just sort of this overarching theme as you go through the game. Okay, so this is how it works. We have the inbox on the left and we have the outbox on the right, and we have to get each of these 3 cubes into the outbox. And how we do that is by building a computer program. So these are commands, right? So if you think of these as just commands, even though in real life this process would probably be a bit more complicated than this, but this command tells my little guy to go to the inbox, and this command tells him to go to the outbox. And if we run that using the debugger, which is this little button here, each time we press this button, it steps through each line of code. So he picks it up with the inbox command, and he drops it off with the outbox command. And that's fine, but if we hit play, he's going to fail because he's not going to do the next 2. So what we have to do is we just have to repeat the inbox and outbox commands. Now this is very simple. Obviously, it's the first level. It's teaching you the basic instructions of the game. So now we hit play, and we can also speed it up with this slider here. And there you go, done, level complete. And on each level you're graded, although not on the first couple of levels, but as you get further into the game, they grade you based on how many commands you used to get, whatever it was you had to get done. And how many lines of code you used. It's kind of awesome, actually. Continue to the elevator. Okay, so we'll go to the busy mailroom. So this is our second year in the corporation. Well, it looks like you've made it this far. Congratulations on your promotion. Most people stress out and quit before making it to this part. Yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, let's just get through this. Okay, so now we have the jump command. Now, in real programming, this would be a for loop. So I initially was a touch confused by this, just because of the way it's presented. I'm not used to visual programming languages, but it's pretty simple. So what we need to do here is we need to get each item from the inbox to the outbox. And as you can see, we can't tell how many are actually there. There could be more behind that E letter. So we need to create a program to deal with that. So what we do is we tell them to go to the inbox, then we tell them to go to the outbox, and then we use this jump command, which essentially allows us to repeat infinitely the commands inside of it, as you can see. And this is a loop. This is what you call a loop in programming, and that's what it does here. So we hit play, and he will just speed through each of those until there are no more to go and pick up, and the level is completed. Not particularly difficult. At the moment, it's just teaching you the basic commands of the game, but this is how programming functions. If I wanted to repeat an action, say 10 times, I'd put it in a for loop, which is what you call it, or a while loop, or any other kind of loop. I'd put it in a loop and give it a number of conditions, and if it met those conditions, then it would keep looping until it no longer met those conditions. Okay, so copy floor. We're not going to go too far in this because I don't want to spoil too many of these puzzles for you, but I do want to show you some of the complexity on offer. Okay, so, I know. The inbox conveyor system is completely broken, but that doesn't mean we can't... Yeah, right, okay. So anyway, we're going to do some work. So, right, so now we're getting a new command. So each time we go up a level, we tend to get a new command, as far as I can tell. So, in this case, what we need to do is we need to get everything from we need to spell out the word bug. So we need to pick up B, U, and G. So what we need to do is we need to copy from number 4, then we need to take it to the outbox, then we need to copy from number 0, then we need to take it to the outbox, then we need to copy from number 3, and then we need to take it to the outbox. Done. Easy. You may not find these easy. I don't know. I mean, it's difficult for me to really judge this because I'm used to programming logic, but for someone who isn't, maybe they'll struggle with this. I think once you get up here, the furthest I've gotten, I think, was to around here in my playtesting, and it was getting challenging. At this point, it was getting challenging. I was having to think. I had to crack out the calculator a couple of times to work out some maths. So yeah, it does get challenging, trust me. All right, the conveyor system is fixed. Cool. And just in time for you to get to work. The data won't collate itself. Okay, so grab the first 2 things from the inbox and drop them into the outbox in the reverse order. Repeat until the inbox is empty. Okay, so this is interesting. So what we have to do is we have to put 8 into the outbox first, then 2, then D into the outbox, then X, then 5 into the outbox, then 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically go to the inbox. We're going to take number 2, we're going to copy it to space number 0, then we're going to go to the inbox, then we're going to go to the outbox, I think, yeah, because we're going to take 8 there, then we're going to copy from space number 1, and we're going to take that to the outbox, and we want to repeat this. If I'm correct, we'll run through the debugger, but if I'm correct, he will go to the inbox, copy number 2, to space number 1 on the floor. Then he'll go to the inbox again, grab number 8, take it straight to the outbox, then go back to the space on the floor, pick it up, and then go to the outbox. I think this is going to work. We'll put a jump in here so it repeats this loop over and over and over again until the process is complete. We'll hit play and I'll gamble. I won't bother debugging this. And it's done. There you go. So yeah, this is coding. I mean, this is the logic behind programming. It's presented in a different way. In this case, it's in the form of visual programming. There are a number of visual programmers out there if you want to learn programming that might help you get into it, but this won't teach you how to code. What it will teach you is the logic behind programming, which is actually, I think, more important in life overall. I think people who understand programming are able to approach things a little bit more objectively than people who haven't understood any form of programming. It's a logic process for solving problems and sorting data, and it just helps you sort of analyze things in a specific way, which I think is very useful, and I think everyone can benefit from it. But the next thing here is coffee time, and this isn't actually gameplay, so I'll shut up.
Back to work, everyone.
Regions of the city continue to experience power failure. Local authorities are investigating.
So yeah, that's just one of many cutscenes in the game, and they slowly start to expose the story to you. Okay, so Rainy Summer. I'm not going to show you much more after this, I don't think, because I don't want to spoil this for anyone who's interested. Okay, so what's the next one? Welcome to my personal rain cloud. I was never very good at math, since I only have 3 fingers on each hand, but I hear you don't actually need to know very much about math to complete these assignments. Oh, I don't know about that. I would disagree, to be honest. I think a knowledge of math is probably helpful, although it's not heavy on math, but I did have to break out the calculator a couple of times while I was playing this. Okay, so for each 2 things in the inbox, add them together and put the result in the outbox. Right, okay. So we want to add 7 and 5 and 6 and 8, if I'm correct. So what we need to do is we need to take 7 from the inbox, copy it to space number 1, then we need to take 5 from the inbox, add it to space number 1, then take it to the outbox, and then repeat the loop. Now this might not work. Let me just debug this. Excuse me. Okay, so we take 7 to space number 0. We throw that away and we copy it to there, okay, and then we add 5 and 7, and then he takes it to the inbox, and then he loops the process. Okay, cool. Hit play. I'll speed this one up, and that should work perfectly, and it does. That wasn't too difficult. But you can see the logic behind these. Now, obviously, when you first get into it, it took me a while to understand certain commands. I was looking for if, and, or else statements, stuff like that, you know. So it took me a little while to sort of understand the basic mechanics, but once I did, I started to solve these pretty reasonably. Now, once we do this level, and I just want to do this one final level to show you an additional mechanic in the game. So we're just going to do the triplet room, and this is where things start to get a bit more complicated. And then we'll call it quits there. The optional area for completing blah. So this is for high performance stuff, but it unlocks a mechanic, which I want to show you. It's not really a mechanic, but it's a grading system, and it's important to the game, and it adds some replayability. And I want to demonstrate that to you. So for each thing in the inbox, triplet and the outbox result. Okay, so hang on. For each thing in the inbox, triplet and outbox the result. Okay, so we want to take 6 and triple it. So that's easy enough. We go to the inbox. We copy it to this space. No, hang on. We don't even need to do that, do we? Yes, we do. Because then we have to add to itself, then add to itself again, which will give us multiplication of 3. And then we send it to the outbox, and then we loop it, I think. I'll take a risk. We'll see if it works. So once this is done, hopefully I don't screw it up. No, I didn't. Good. I'll just speed this up. I just want to show you this one final thing. And that's because it's important, right? So now we start to get graded. And this is cool, because all the previous levels we completed also already have a grade. Okay, so you can see here the size challenge. So use 6 or fewer commands. So I had 6 or fewer commands in my program, and the number of steps it had to repeat, i.e. take, to get to the end was 24 in this case, and that was in the threshold. So I completed both these challenges and I got 2 stars. Essentially, they're stars. Now you can see here we now have these stars next to everything, which we didn't have before. And you can see on Busy Mailroom, I haven't actually got 2 stars. And I initially went back to that thinking like, what the hell? So I'm just going to show you this one and then we'll call it quits, all right? So it does tell you at one point that sometimes you can't meet both conditions simultaneously, and so you have to go back and do it differently. So in this case, there's a criteria to do it in like 4 commands, which is 3 commands, sorry, which is inbox, outbox, and jump, which is what I did, and that's completely reasonable. But if we hit play, it's going to tell us we fail on another condition. If we go through here, it's going to say we fail on the second condition. I think that's how this works. Yeah, so we did it in 3 commands, but it took more than 25 steps. It took 30 steps, right? So I want to get the 30-step star. So what I have to do is remove my jump. This example isn't great, and I hope the other ones, when you can't meet both conditions, are a little bit more interesting than this, but this is the second level. So we don't know how many are here, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to add 5 inbox outboxes, which will give us a total of 10 lines of code, because we have to repeat these processes. And then I'm going to debug through them until I can count the remaining ones. I'll just speed this up. And okay, so once we put I in there, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Okay, so I want to go back to the beginning of my program. I have to stop this. So technically we should only have to have 20 lines of code here to do this. But I just wanted to show this to you because it is a mechanic, and it does tell you at some point in the game, I can't remember where, but it does tell you that you cannot meet all conditions at the same time on certain levels, and you'll have to go back. And it's an additional puzzle solving and replayability mechanic. So if it's the same word, which I think it is, 20 lines of code should do it unless I'm wrong. Nope, your solution works. Hang on, what did I do wrong there? I did nothing wrong. Did I have an extra line that wasn't required? Okay. Step back and debug. Yeah, he takes that to the outbox. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfect. Well, anyway, I don't know. I did it like this before and it worked. I won't bother wasting your time with it, but that's my sort of first impressions of the game. Now, so what do I think of it? Well, what I think of it is, does it have enough content? I think so. right? For $10, and you've got to consider that some of these puzzles up here are going to get so nightmarishly difficult. Even the developer offered to give me a cheat code because it was a very difficult game, okay? So it is difficult. It's really difficult towards the end. So if you're looking for something really challenging, that's definitely going to be here. If you're the kind of person who's maybe interested in programming and programming logic, and you're interested in getting into that, but you want to do it in a fun, puzzle-solving gameplay way instead of a boring reading books and coding all day way, then it's cool. If you're already a programmer, I think you'll get a kick out of it. I'm getting a kick out of it. I think it's cool. Obviously, it's a niche title, but the guys behind World of Goo and Little Inferno tend to make really high-quality games, and this is no exception. So it's a recommendation from me. If you guys found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about the game, whether or not you're going to pick it up. And as always, like, favorite, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.